It's the Big Stuff Podcast. Now here's Andy and Jen, your Big Stuff hosts.
Hey everyone, it's Jen and Andy. It's the Big Stuff Podcast. Today we are traveling to Redhook, New York to visit with Steven Schreiber, a real gem of an individual.
What a beautiful place that is too. Redhook is beautiful on its own, but the views from his property
Spectacular.
are just incredible, and we got some of that in the background. So
You're going to see that, but you're also going to see the world's tallest fork in the road. You don't want to miss that in this episode. And there's something else special.
The world's largest Prozac pill. Now, I don't know of any other Prozac pill other than the real Prozac pill, so this is in a category of its own, but tremendous job on both of these things.
Yeah,
so.
Wait till you see it. Steven is going to let us know how these things came about, so enjoy today's episode.
See ya.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Redhook, New York, and I want to introduce you to Steven Schreiber.
Hi, Steven. Hi. Look at the gorgeous backdrop that we're looking at the Catskills Mountains.
That's your Catskills. You're looking at Woodstock a little bit.
So Steven has on his property, well, let's go further. He is the artist behind, and actually not always on his property, now that I understand. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
He's got the world's biggest fork, and it's the fork in the road.
Yes.
And he's also got the world's biggest Prozac tablet.
Which is
maybe
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to talk to him a little bit about the things. He's got other things too. His whole property is filled with all kinds of joyous things, and so
inventory. Inventory, I call it. It came from the dumpster, but it's now inventory. So we'll go back to a dumpster someday.
One man's junk is another man's treasure. That's what they say.
I made one of those signs at the bottom of the driveway, because most of the stuff you see around here came from dumpster diving, and so I have a lot of collection of whatever's up there.
Well, it's certainly fun to look at.
Yeah, lots of things to pick from. It's like a supermarket of building things, right?
I always enjoyed director sets when I was a kid, and my mind does this. You go up there and you put the pieces together, and I see it fits.
So you visualize things before you make them.
Visualize, and it was the objects. As you can see, some of my stuff, I put pieces together, and from there is called sculpture. Is it art?
Well, we have to ask you about the fork in the road, because I was surprised at the size of that.
Yeah.
All right, give us the height of that.
Well, it started out with there was a cement plant over here. It had some plate steel, and they were tearing the plant down, and I got to be gifted 2 plates of 13-foot steel, rusted steel, and so that was sitting in my back 40 over here, and I came across a little postcard. I had an antique center at that time at the intersection. It was Rock City Relics. I had that for like 18 years. So there was a postcard that says, "Welcome to Big Fork in the Road, USA." And I go, I grew up here, and then I'm mowing that triangle for 20 years. I said, wait a minute, I've got actually 3 forks in the road on the triangle. And I said, put a fork. When I got the steel, I thought we'd cut it out like a pair of scissors, So I had a tenant that could do torches, and I had torches, and we sketched it out with chalk on this big plate of steel, and now it's a flat plate piece of steel. That was 13 feet. Then the other half of the section of the handle was another 13, so that made it 26. And I was at the point where I didn't know what to put on the handle to make it look like a fancy part of a fork, I'd actually bought a plate of aluminum like this, and it just happened in the dumpster. That top 5 feet was leaning against the dumpster, and it had the same taper going as the handle and everything. So got a foot off of that, and that made it 31 feet. So we put the thing in there January 2nd of the year 2000, so it's a millennial fork. And so I thought for sure, because it's state land. That was the key to the whole thing. And I said, when the press first started coming out, they said, well, how did you get permission? I said, I didn't ask. Can you imagine going to any of these town boards? Hey, I got to, put a fork on it. Right,
Right, yeah, how do you break that to them?
Get out of here. So I just did it. And I thought for sure they're going to make me take it down. And I was going to move it over onto one of my other properties that I own around the triangle there. and I was going to change the name to Fork U.
That's awesome.
What a comedian we've got here.
Yeah.
Tremendous. And, you gotta state the obvious there. If you're angry, you get your anger up.
Well, nobody, I thought for sure they'd make me take it down, but nobody's ever said anything.
But Stephen, it's a great tourist attraction now.
Oh,
People
my God.
come from so far away.
I have never suspected that it would acquire this much publicity over the years, and because my mind was set on moving it over there, and but it shows the power of public art and the position of it, the placement.
So anyway, you've got lots of stuff all over,
and
you're obviously collecting from recycle centers and stores and things like that, and people probably give you things constantly. They probably think of you as the guy to give stuff to,
Well,
right?
I've had that offer more than once, so that's what happens when you have 60 acres and nobody will look over the fence. Except now you have Google Earth, you can go, oh, look at look at that guy's backyard. Oh my God. He's got a junkyard.
They can see everything now.
So can the assessor.
Yeah.
Right. No kidding.
He's like Fred Sanford over here.
Yeah.
So what led to the Prozac pill, and when was that done?
One of my last houses that I bought there at the Triangle, it was an old man's house sort of a thing. It was fully apart inside, and I wound up buying it from him. And in the back, it was a propane tank there. So I was able to lift it up, and I put it in a dump truck, and I put it back here in my inventory pile, I guess, and it sat there for, I don't know, a year or two. But I'd been taking my Prozac at that time, and I guess it's one of those aha moments. It's the same geometric size as the Prozac pill, and the weld mark, and it was right down the middle, and I said, Jesus. And I took my Prozac pill to the paint stores and color matched it, and it was a lot easier to do than the fork, so now I painted it. Now how am I going to get those? It's got to have nice clean letters, and I forgot about the idea. You go to the graphic art store and you go click, and it prints one out, and so that's how the Prozac came in, and the 1 million milligrams is just good nuts, and don't worry, be happy. It goes on top.
I love that.
Actually, I just sold out about 2 years ago because I had those apartments for 37 years as I looked at the contract. And I, not knowing who I was going to sell it to at the time, I put in a deed that I have the right to leave the Prozac bill and access to it for 10 years. I figured my life expectancy, well, after that I'm going to be dead. Who the hell cares? Somebody else has to take care of it. Let's sell it.
So you have the actual language in there that says Prozac bill?
Yeah, right.
Right in the deed.
Right in the deed. Read the small print. In case you ever have some guy, character, some asshole, get off my land,
Well, so Steven, you have forked up the neighborhood really well.
I like that.
And that's
good.
Yeah. And to tell viewers a little bit about how to come here, it is public land. It is so you can come 24 hours a day. Park your car. It's a little shady on where to park your car, but
no, the fork is a lot of people go over to the church parking lot or the parking lot there down on Rock City Road, and they walk over. But you can park right on the Triangle, the grass there. And the first time when I first put it out there, you said, "Have you ever seen the fork in the road?" Perplexed. No. And now you've mentioned the fork. A lot of people have seen the fork in the road.
We're like, it's an actual fork in the road.
Yeah, well, everybody loves that part of it.
I'm guessing your next project is bear left.
Something to do with bear, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bear left at the fork, right?
Yeah, right. On the back side, when you're coming this way, what do you see? Just aluminum, nothing in aluminum posts. On the back side, I want to make something out of a metal, like a cloud.
Yeah.
Or like a bush.
Why don't you make a real backside?
Yeah.
A lady's backside.
No, there's a lot of those signs out there. Maybe I'll take that as an idea. I'll give you the credit. If I might do that one. That would be a good. I think that might be a little bit much for it. But
it'd be funny.
You took the words out of my mouth on that one. Now you got me working.
Visualize that, Stephen. Visualize that.
Well, if you ever find yourself in Red Hook, New York, upstate, come on by.
Definitely
say hello
see
to
the fork
Steven.
in the road, giant Prozac.
Absolutely. Knock on Steven's? No,
don't knock on Steven's door.
Leave the poor man alone. Thank you, Steven. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes,
we really
yes,
appreciate it.
thank
It's a pleasure.
you.
Wow, what a great episode. Isn't Steven a character?
I love him.
He was the nicest guy and so chill, and just he was
And
so
welcoming. That's the word that comes to mind.
Absolutely. He was right there for you. He had no issues with having you on his property. I'm not suggesting that everyone rushed to his property, but still he was willing to talk about everything, and just a great guy.
And if you're in Redhook, New York, you want to make sure you stop by and see the world's tallest fork in the road and that Prozac pill, because that's something to see. The whole property that Steven showed us, it's called Steven's World. It's a 60-acre property. It's just amazing.
And beautiful.
So speaking of forks in the road, or forks, I should say, because not all of these are in the road.
True.
You've been to all of these pretty much.
Well, I don't know about all of them, but I've been to a
lot.
bunch. I think like 8 or 9 of them for sure around the country. There's a bunch.
So there's a 21-footer in Franklin, Kentucky. Tell us about that.
That one is sort of on a field. There is a fork in the road there, and right up the road is a huge knife, a butter knife, which is obviously made by the same people. I don't think that was a coincidence. But right in the middle of sort of nowhere, and it's beautiful.
That's so cool. So that's in Kentucky. Let's go to a 9-footer in Centerport, PA. Have you seen that one?
I have not been to that one.
See?
That's a good one, though. I there's a bunch that I need to get to. We'll get there.
Westport, Massachusetts.
Yeah, you wouldn't think of it. Again, fork in the road, on the road. Not huge, but it
Respectable.
represents.
Pasadena, California.
Yeah, a good tall one on the side of the road. When you think of Pasadena, you think of little old ladies and things like that.
You totally
There's
do.
a huge fork there, so it works.
I think of meatballs, and a fork on a meatball.
Speaking of,
How about Branson, Missouri?
yes, it's a restaurant, and it's really cool. It's a fork on top of a meatball with spaghetti, and it's got a doorway that you can walk through the meatball.
Stop it.
Yes, and maybe take a bite while you're in there.
I've always wanted to walk through a meatball. Austin, Texas. Do you remember that one?
It's a great one. I visited that one in the dead of the night on my way through, and it happened to have a pride flag on it, which was beautiful. And I think they switch out the flags depending on what's happening in the world.
I wonder if they have a meatball flag. Springfield, Missouri.
Springfield, they claim to be the biggest fork in the world.
Okay. Do you think
overall,
it measures up?
I do. It was very big, and it's sort of at an office building in a plot of landscaping out front of the building, and it's pretty impressive.
Any sporks to speak of?
I'll tell you, the spoon and the spork, not represented.
No.
The knife, I've only seen one. I don't understand it. What is wrong with this world?
Fork this.
Really? Also spoon this.
Spoon this, exactly. Well, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Again, if you are traveling, which we love to do, make sure you get to Redhook and check out these great big things.
Really awesome. I hope you guys have a great week. We'll be back next week with another field report. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for watching. Get all of our episodes and field reports at BigStuffPodcast.com.